Hello alone! Welcome back to another episode of Minecraft How to Build. Manticore here, and today, boy guys, I gotta tell ya, I'm really excited for the build that we have planned because something that I've never really built, but I've always wanted to try it. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and leave our beautiful flower field which we created in the last episode. This is very colorful, by the way. I came back here and was looking at this, and I don't know that all flower fields are supposed to be this rainbow colored, but you know, it's very bright. Kind of reminds me of Fruit Loops. Okay, so as you guys probably know, based on the title of today's video, we are going to be building a Gothic-inspired Minecraft church. Now, I'm not gonna go ahead and specify which religion this is for. It may or may not worship a deity named Notch, but we're just gonna go ahead and get this built up. So as you can see, I've already gone ahead and placed a few corners around the place, and I went ahead and used this basalt. This build's going to be mostly out of stone, and it's also going to be using a lot of blocks that are going to be a little bit harder to obtain. So if you're building a build like this early on in your survival game, you might want to go ahead and build it with some kind of other blocks to substitute some of these things that we're using here today. For instance, the basalt might be a little bit harder to get if you haven't been to the Nether yet. And then we also have some black stone for the roof. So those are just some of the things that you might want to go ahead and replace. Now, really quick before I do get to building too much here, you can just see that I started to place down some walls. This is a 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 9 wide. I guess if you include the sides, it's going to be 11. So this is going to be an odd build. Now, getting back here into it, we're going to be building up the majority of this building. Oh man, this guy's really got to go. We're going to be building up the majority of this building using some dead coral. And in this case, we're using dead brain coral. Now, I thought this one would give it a nice, darker style rounded stone, because this is one of the better dead coral. Excuse me. Wow. So rude. So rude, man. I'm trying really hard not to kill you, but you're making it hard. What was I saying? Oh yeah. So this is one of the better blocks to use for when you're building something with stone, because these dark round shapes in here, those look like stones, and the lighter lines kind of look a bit like the cementing, essentially. So this is a good block to use, but we haven't really done it yet so far. We've been using mostly the dead tube coral mixed in with cobblestone, which is why I thought we'd switch it up and go for something like this. So now that we've got this built 4 high, let's go ahead and add 2 more stone brick right about here. And then let's actually make that 3. There we go. Now we're going to start building inwards because we want there to be a huge window right here. And you'll notice that I'm building this a little bit differently. I'm not laying out the frame first, and that's because I'm still kind of playing around with it, and I don't know exactly how that frame is going to work, but since it is mostly stone, it may not even need that frame. Now, let's go ahead and switch over to some andesite stairs. And then we'll go ahead and lay these down right across like this. If you're building this in your own world, you're going to want to make sure that you turn these outside stairs outwards. It's going to be a little tricky to explain, but yeah. We're switching over to some andesite wall now. And, oh, I think let's just do 3 for now. We'll build this up, and then let's go ahead and fill in the rest of this dead brain coral. Okay, so now as you can see, we've got a little bit of a shape going here, and we're going to start building inwards for this window. We want this to be a very large window. But now, for this middle roof, we're actually going to be doing a too-high roof. Which means we're going to want to be doing something a little bit more like so. Nope, not that one. There we go. And so if we do something like that, we'll add another window thing right about there. It's not really a window, it's more of a little bit of a stone decoration thing, and we're going to be using lodestones to fill in those little individual spots. But we'll come back to that here in just a bit. So now I want to go ahead and put in some more stairs. And let's see here. I think if we do something a bit like that, and then let's actually go ahead and fill in this one. And that should give it kind of a nice little curved top without being too extreme. Now, we'll go ahead and come back here to the windows a little bit later on, because I'm sure we'll have more of these to fill in, but we will be using stained glass for that. And so now let's go ahead and switch over to this side. So this is going to have pretty much the front door entrance. And, let's go ahead and finish up this wall here really quick. The first roof should come down to about there. And I'm going to throw this in here for right now so you guys can see why I'm putting this stuff where I am. But this is a too-high roof. And so it's got the regular blocks and then it's got a stair up on top of it. And that's all I'm going to do for the roof for right now because that needs a little bit more explaining, but we'll come back to that later on. So now coming over to here, let's go ahead and build this out a little bit more. I'm thinking something like this should be about right. Whoops, went too far. Okay. And let's go ahead and throw in the rest of this dead brain coral over here. Oh, and you know what? I think we're actually going to be going one further back with that. So the way that these, looking at some reference photos, the way that the Gothic churches work is that their roof is more built in to the outside wall and they don't really overhang it at all. We are not going to be following that because it's honestly a style that I personally don't think really works very well in Minecraft. So we will be using our overhangs. And if we come around over to here and do something like this, we can just go ahead and place a stair outwards like this. And this gives it a little bit of a funny little slope thing coming off of it. If we did something like that, I don't think that's quite what we're looking for here. But that's something you can do as well in your builds. Now I'm going to throw down a half slab of polished black stone. And then we'll place in, well, no, not quite yet. So I want to go ahead and do a little bit of a doorway right over here. And looking at this now, I think I might have messed it up a little, but it's an easy fix. So we're just going to go ahead and remove that. And then we're actually going to move this back by 1. So this can stay because it'll probably be there anyways. And then let's go ahead and add some andesite stairs right about here. Gosh, it's not going to be an easy way to do this, is there? Let's go ahead and do maybe something like that. So we're trying to give it a little bit of a fancy doorway here. And our little merchant, wandering trader friend is making sure that the llama can fit through because that's very important. Now, I think we'll go ahead and bring this out Oh gosh, oh, I don't know if I like that. No, okay. Let's see here. Maybe if we do something like that. No. Okay, so like that. That's too narrow. Let me think about this for a second. Okay, so honestly, I think it's this roof that's kind of tripping me up, so I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of it here just for a minute. And then let's go ahead and do something like this. And you know what? Let's bring it up one higher because I think my original roof design was a little too small. Okay, so let's do something like that and then break those. Bring that to there. Okay, making some progress here now. And oh, one too far. Okay, so lining this up, we want this entryway to be 3 apart. We'll bring out those stairs. And let's do something just like that. Okay, so now taking these black stairs, we can go ahead and lay these back in. And these are gonna lay just like so. I'm gonna leave that one open because if we do that overhang, that'll actually be a slab. Now, coming back to the side, let's go ahead and throw in some cobblestone stairs up here in this corner, so that way there aren't holes poking through. And the llama fits, folks. Thanks, Wandering Trader. Okay, so now that we've got that, I want to go ahead and actually bring back this layer by one. And so if we do something just like this, we can go ahead and... Oh guys, this is such a tricky build. Let's see. Okay, so I think we want to do some... Oh, no. Those will be up there. Okay. So taking some andesite stairs, we're going to go ahead and add some more stone sort of like decorative additions. I was trying to think of a better word, but I really don't have one. So let's just do something like that, and let's do maybe that. I'm thinking we switch that out. Yeah, that looks good. It's almost got like a circular design in it. And then let's also go ahead and grab an andesite slab to place right on top. Okay, so now this is where we start to, let's see. Yeah, so we'll go ahead and add some cobblestone here. The reason we're not matching this with the roof is because it's got some little triangular peaks down the side of it as well that kind of stick out of the roof. And, you know, I'm kind of thinking, looking at this roof, that this might be one too far over, but we'll mess with that later if it comes down to it. Okay, so for these little triangle sections, we do just want these to be a one slope thing, so we'll bring that down to there. And then we'll make this 3. And then we'll do the exact same thing with this triangular area. Yep, that was right. Actually, there we go. Okay, so we'll do something like that because as you can see, we're getting pretty close to these other corners. Okay. yeah, so back to the build. We'll do something like that. And then I'm almost thinking this is too low, so I'm just going to delete that for now. Then taking this, let's go ahead and bring it all the way down. And since this is kind of a little bit of a section that comes out, we want to go ahead and bring it. Do we want to bring it back by one? No. No, I don't think so. Okay. We'll just go ahead and lay down this spring coral like so. And we'll bring it all the way across. If you're wondering why that guy's over there, it's because while I was playing around with this design, the Wandering Trader's lasso broke, and I just want him out of the way. So I pulled him aside. Okay, so let's go up one more now so that it's all even. And we'll call that good for now while we figure out the rest of this design. While we're down here working on this entrance, let's go ahead and throw in some stone brick slabs. And this is going to work as the roof. Yes, folks, this is the roof. This is going to work as the ground level because we actually want this to have a step up into the church. No, we'll just place those like so. And then we'll come through here before we build up the inside, and then we'll just go ahead and lay this across the full thing. We won't do it right now since we aren't working on the interior quite yet, but now we have those steps that kind of lead up into it. Okay, and so since this little section is kind of bugging me, I'm going to throw on a black stone brick slab. And so you can either leave it as it is, which is closer to the realistic Gothic style from the reference photos that I've seen, disclaimer, or you can go ahead and do pretty much continue with that overhang, which I think we'll go ahead and do because it just looks a little bit better in my opinion for the Minecraft style. Okay, so we'll add those and those. And there we go. So it's got its little peak. We've got these. And, you know, rather than putting the stairs underneath to make it a gradual slope, I think what I actually want to do is maybe try some slabs. Because I want to keep this lighter underneath the roof. Something like that, maybe? Maybe let's go ahead and stick with the stairs. And we'll get rid of that. And place that there. And some, you know, let's leave those. Maybe do that. Okay, so it's a little bit something. And I just feel like this looks a little bit off. So I'm going to go ahead and throw in these little walls right there. Now, I don't know. It's kind of a lot of andesite. We'll leave it for now. And if we really don't like it, we'll go ahead and come back through here. But so that takes it a little bit further out this entrance. And kind of makes it more apparent. Okay, so coming back over to here, let's go ahead and throw this in really quick, because why not? Now, we want there to be a larger bell tower on this build as well, but before we get to framing that out, I want to go ahead and replicate this little andesite stairs section, so I'm going to go ahead and do that here. I was thinking about doing it in time-lapse, but you know, it's such a small build, there's really no point to that. So, something like that. Whoops. There we go. And the slab. Okay. So this is kind of what we got going along here so far. And I think we want to go ahead and start getting that roof in so we can make sure everything's at the right level before we get too far along. So I'm going to go ahead and switch over to a quick time lapse of the roof, and then we'll be back. Okay, so now that we've gotten the majority of this roof in, I didn't want to close it all up or do the other side yet because I think I do want to go ahead and mirror what we've done with these little triangular arches over on that side as well, which is why I didn't go all the way down. But the next thing that I want to go ahead and tackle is figuring out how to add the bell tower. So now, I'm going to go ahead and grab the lodestone here really quick as I think about this. And I think from the reference photo, the church that I am sort of building off of is a lot bigger than this. However, since we do have a lot more limited room, I don't think I want to make it quite as big. And the problem with this other church is that it kind of looked more like a T, so in this back section it was a lot. It had a little bit more to it, and then the bell tower sort of came off right about there. And it's probably kind of hard to picture without anything built, But it also had 3 of these little sections. So if you do have a lot more room than what I'm working with, I would definitely recommend to go ahead and try adding those kinds of things, like a 3rd one of these to make it even longer, and then maybe even building a bigger back section here where I'm assuming, I don't have a picture of the inside, but I'm assuming that's where the preacher would stand and address the community? I don't know. I think that's the right word. But so now we've gone ahead and added these lodestones in these small sections, and I feel like this area needs some more windows. So I'm going to go ahead and pop in a few holes here. And maybe we'll go ahead and do these 3 tall. And I tried to keep these even with where the 2 roofs meet, along with the center points of the roof. So if we were to follow that, there'd probably be another window right about there. But I think we want to go ahead and take out a wall over here. So for this, oh man, I'm gonna have to make this way bigger than I originally planned. So along with the church, I also wanted to do a graveyard around the area, which is why I sort of have these extra wall or stone bricks lying around, as those were supposed to be the borders. But given how large this build already is, I think we're gonna need a little bit more room. So now let's go ahead and I think we'll take this out 2 blocks, and then we'll go down, let's see, I think we want to do this about 5 apart, so we'll keep it odd. And then we'll do the same thing over here, which was 2. I might have to raise up that land and push out the wall that was supposed to be over here. Or maybe I can do something a little bit different. We'll play around with that when it comes to it. Okay, now we'll go ahead and do that. And then I'm going to go ahead and probably cut to another time lapse because I want to make sure that we have enough time for everything that we want to do in this video. And yeah, I'll go ahead and start putting in some of these walls, and I'll probably also go ahead and replicate this side over there, and we can sort of go from there. Here we go.